Today on White Collar Garage, we're going to have to change the master cylinder on this thing. When we go to put our foot on the brake, it slowly goes to the floor. And that's how you can tell if the master cylinder is no good or not. So we're going to replace this thing and let's get started. So the first thing we're going to do is take this 9/16 wrench and break the lines loose. And we're just going to barely get them tight. Now we're going to take a 15mm deep socket, or you can use a 15mm wrench and get on the bolts right here. You got to take the little wiring harness bracket off. Now this master cylinder's loose. So we're going to go inside and prep the new one to get on here. Okay, so we got the master cylinder put up here in the vise and we filled it full of fluid, and this one already started leaking out a little bit. Now this is how you bench bleed a master cylinder when you don't have a bench bleeding kit, or they don't give you one in the new master cylinder, which this didn't come with the little hoses that go across and go into the master cylinder. So we're going to do this by hand. So you're going to get a Phillips, and then you're going to put it into the back of the master cylinder, and you're going to take your fingers off, and you're going to, it's pretty hard to push, but you're going to, oh, seeing it squirts all over, you're going to want to push all the way down. And when you get to the bottom, you put your fingers over this and you suck the fluid in. And then you're going to push with your hand, and then you're going to lift up on your with your fingers a little bit to get it to have fluid start coming out. So our one side's getting too low, so we're going to have to add some fluid to it. Now you're going to press down with the screwdriver, press in with the screwdriver, and you're going to lift your hands up a little bit. Then you're going to cover them, and then you let up. We're going to do this a few times till we don't get any bubbles shooting out. And there we go. We have no bubbles shooting out. So these caps came in the master cylinder. We're going to get a little bit of air in here, which isn't going to be a big deal because we're going to bleed this on the car. This is going to keep it from us leaking fluid all over the car. If you leak brake fluid on the car, get it off right away, because brake fluid will take the paint off the car and the clear coat off the car real quick. So now that we have this prepped, we're going to put a little bit more fluid in it. We're going to put the cap on it. Now we're going to go take the old master cylinder off and then slide this one in. Okay, now we're going to finish taking this old one off. Now when we take these lines off, we're going to want to try to set them up a little bit so we don't lose a lot of brake fluid out of these. The last thing we want to do is get air into the ABS system, and then we'll have major problems. We'll have to send this thing to the dealership and have them use a scan tool or a computer tool to bleed these brakes. So we're going to set these off and twist them up a little bit. I leave these lines, this master cylinder loose, so I can get these lines in and wiggle them around, and it's a lot easier to have this loose and get the lines in that way. So you just want to get this one a little snug, and then you want to tighten up the other one all the way. Okay, now we're going to leak brake fluid all over the place right here. So what we're going to want to do is take a bunch of rags or these things that are called pig blankets that we got from AutoZone. And we're going to want to shove these up in here so we don't get brake fluid all over the place. Now you're going to crack both these lines open at once. And you got to have somebody inside pressing the brake down. You're going to tell them, okay, down. Up. And you saw how we got all that brake fluid out right there. You want to keep your eye on this master cylinder too to make sure that it doesn't go low. So we're going to crack both of them again at the same time. Down. Up. Down. Up. Okay, now we're going to do one of them at a time. So we're going to go down, up. So when you're doing the final bleed on these things, you want to make sure that you close it when the fluid is still coming out, so we don't get any air going back in. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. So we have no air coming out on that one, so we're going to go to the front one now. Down, up, down, up. And you can hear that little bit of air spurting out. It'll go when it's still shooting out air. Up, down, up, down, up. Okay, so our master cylinder is getting a little low. We're going to have to fill it up. Down, up, 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 down, up. Okay, now we're going to hit this back one a little bit more. Down, up, down, up. Okay, now we're just going to top up this reservoir. Okay, we'll pull these rags out. I want to make sure that we don't get no brake fluid on the paint. Okay, so this is brake clean. We just get it from AutoZone. Make sure you get the non-chlorinated brake clean. But then we're going to just take this and spray it all down in here. And there you go. And that's changing a master cylinder without bleeding the tires or anything. You can do it all right here as long as you get a good master cylinder bleed, bench bleed like we did in the vise, and then coming in here and doing it like this back and forth several times. You don't have to bleed all the wheels as long as you didn't get any air anywhere else. If you do get air in the rest of this system, this ABS unit right here is going to have to go to the dealer or go to a shop that has a special tool to bleed this ABS system. That's why I bleed them right here, and I don't shove air into these ABS units. It's really bad. It takes a lot of labor. It's very labor intensive, and it's expensive to get these bled. So that's basically how you do this job. So now we'll take it for a test drive. Okay, so we just got back from our test drive. We double checked, made sure there's no leaks. So that wraps up the master cylinder on this Chevy Tahoe. And you can do these on any Chevy pickup truck. They're all the same. So thanks for watching White Collar Garage. And if you like this, please subscribe.